And Mark New sat down with Glen De Vos, Delphi's vice president of its business services unit, to learn more about their work in self-driving cars. De Vos began by showing Mark the brains behind their self-driving unit that the company hopes to sell to automakers.
At the heart of it is really the automated driving computing platform, and that's what this is. This is the
first time it's been seen.
First time it's been seen. This is the multi-domain controller that contains all of the Mobileye vision processing algorithms on the IQ5. It'll contain all of the automated driving software, which will sit on an Intel SoC, and then all the other devices that are required to support basically automated driving in the vehicle. And this is the brains of the whole system.
And you will work with Mobileye to create this brain and its various parts, and then you will sell it to the various OEMs, right?
The intent is to offer that to OEMs who really are looking for a turnkey solution or an end-to-end solution so that they can then take this and adapt it for their applications without necessarily having to make all of the investments and the engineering development work for automated driving.
You have sort of billed this as being an end-to-end solution available on the market in 2019, is that correct?
By 2019, we'll have completed our testing and validation of the system. We'll start working with the OEMs really throughout the course of 2017. And what I can tell you is that there is a tremendous pull to accelerate that timing. But we're really planning on 2019 as having completed our development and testing.
Level 5 driving is something that we talk about where you would actually be able to sleep, I believe, and let the car take over. That is still a ways away.
We see the market really developing in two phases. The first is going to be the kind of the commercial market, and that's automated mobility on demand and logistics services and that type of thing. And that's where you want to take the driver out to achieve the economic benefits. So there's no point in doing anything less than level 5. We see that developing by the early 2020s. The broader consumer market for cars that you and I buy, we think that'll take longer to develop. That's going to be kind of an evolutionary market where you'll get increasing levels of autonomy as you buy each generation of car. So highway pilot, self-parking, and then in lane change capability, and over time you'll achieve full autonomy. Now that nobody's really sure about when that comes, when you can sleep in your car as it drives from one point to another.
What would be the first self-driving type vehicles you think hitting the market? Which area?
We think they're going to be basically people movers. So you may see automated mobility on demand, which is like taxi services. But what we're really targeting are what we call first mile, last mile applications. So this is like working with cities like Singapore to provide transportation for people from their homes to the mass transit stations, and then from the station to their place of work or their destination.
And what have you discovered from Singapore? I mean, I must ask, have you had any accidents?
Fortunately, we have not had any accidents. We started driving in Singapore in October now, and it's really been a great experience. What we're learning is a couple things. One is tremendous amount of public interest and third-party developers. So we're getting taxi and other service providers approaching us to say, hey, how can we be a part of this activity so they can learn as well? The other thing we're learning is Singapore is, they drive on the left side of the road as opposed to here in the US on the right. So we're learning about unique infrastructure and driving behaviors that you wouldn't encounter here in Mountain View or in San Francisco.
In all of your testing, what would you say is the greatest challenge right now, technically, that you're trying to overcome?
It really is understanding how the vehicle should operate in all of the various use cases. Vehicles interacting with other vehicles. And how do you socialize the vehicle, so to speak? So how do you make the vehicle be aggressive so it actually gets into traffic, but not too aggressive so it doesn't make the occupants feel in danger? And that's really a difficult problem to solve. You want the vehicle to always be safe. You want the people in the vehicle to always be safe. But at the same time, you got to pull out on the roadway. You've got to enter traffic. You've got to merge. And so it's that balance and what we call the socialization aspect or the behavior of the vehicle that really is one of the biggest challenges.
Is it ironic that you want it to think like a human, yet you don't want a human there?
In some respects, yes, it is. It really is. But what that reflects is just how capable human beings are in terms of perceiving and being able to manage the driving task. The challenge is we don't always pay attention. So we're not always at our full capability at every time while we drive. One of the advantages of an automated system, it is always paying attention. It is never distracted, it is never tired, it is never intoxicated. When you think about the U.S. fatalities, 35,092 in 2015, 94% of which were driver related. That's really what's amazing about this technology. It can help reduce that number and save those lives.